Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys 5 new decks to play in the new expansion that I definitely remember the name of the expansion. Um, what is the name of this expansion? Who knows? Who knows what the name of this LOR expansion is? But anyways, I have 5 new decks slash like improved old decks to play in the new expansion, starting with Jax. Got one with each champion. Actually, I don't have one with Ornn. Spoiler alert, but I do have one with like some of the new Ornn followers. I have like this updated list, so it's kind of frilly already with some of the new Ornn followers. But yeah, I wasn't able to make one for Ornn. I just really couldn't figure out a way to make him work that also seemed playable. Like I could just throw together 40 cards for you guys and say like, oh look, here's an Ornn deck, but it didn't sound very good to me, so I just went ahead and updated one of the old Freljord PNZ, the like timeline style deck for you guys, and that's going to be like the Ornn deck. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So before we get into the decks, I want to remind you guys that 68% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you guys could do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button if you like competitive content, enjoy deck guides, all that type of jazz. We'll be having those for you a lot. We have all these new decks coming in, a bunch of new champions this time around. I think we got like what 5 or 6 new champions. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of champions, so I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm going to be playing a lot of competitive this season, so it'll be a lot of deck guides, a lot of things that I'm learning. I'll go ahead and share with you guys so you guys can also learn with me. So if you're interested in all of that, go ahead and join the Discord link down in the description below. And yeah, let's get into the deck guides, or the decks. So the first deck, and this is the deck I'm most excited about, is going to be Jax Master Yi. So Jax, I think, is extremely strong. I think the entire Blade Master, or was it Weapon Master package is really strong. I think that has some really solid units with some really good units on curve that just like also get these weapons that are extremely strong. And then on top of that, you have really good spells. You have like Blades of the Fallen, which I think is extremely broken. You have Parts Made Whole, which is really good. It draws you cards so you can keep tempo in your deck. You get like, you know, guaranteed challenger. You get to I'm not playing a Sharesies in this deck, but you could easily play like a one of Sharesies to kind of move around stats and equipment and stuff like that. So it looks to be an extremely strong deck. I'll go over all the cards here because some of them are new. So we're gonna start with Jax. So Jax is a 2-mana 3/2, and then when you play him or summon him, he auto equips a weapon that gives him quick attack, and then once he's leveled up, the weapon also gives overwhelm. So there's that. Then you have Master Yi, which is a 3-mana 2/3 quick attack. So you have your you go Jax on 2, you can curve into Master Yi on 3, and then it says round start, reduce the cost of a spell in your hand by 1 for this round. And then Flow, grant allied Master Yis everywhere +2/+0. So he's a nice little scaling champion for that late game. And yeah, Flow, for those of you that don't know, is a new keyword. Flow means you've played 2 spells or skills this round. So we don't have, I don't think we have any skills. So we're basically just relying on spells, but luckily a lot of our spells are extremely cheap. And a lot of our spells can give like more than 1 spell, which is good. But yeah, we're gonna kind of just be playing Master Yi as a very solid champion. He could very easily turn into like a Lulu or something, or he could definitely be changed around as the champion in the deck, even like an Ari maybe, but we'll see. Right now this is what I'm running with because Master Yi is new and it seems cool. We could also probably change the deck up a little bit to fit that Master Yi, but let's go ahead and get into some of the followers I have here. So for the followers, I'm gonna start off with Disciple of Duran. Disciple of Duran is actually broken. This is a 2-mana 2/2, which is already fine if you need it for like a defensive turn or early turn. But when you summon it, or when you summon them, they give you a preparation in hand. And for those of you that don't know what a preparation is, it's a 1-mana spell that reduces the cost of another spell in your hand by 1 permanently. So and it's not fleeting or anything. So you can hold on to it and then use it in the future turns to activate Flow and stuff like that. So yeah, so you could go like Disciple of Duran on 2, Master Yi on 3, preparation something, and then like 0-mana spell that turn, and then now you just have like a 3-mana 4/3 quick attack unit, which, you know, is pretty fucking good. So it seems really nice. Then Messi's level up. Oh, I should go through their levels. Jack's leveled up is when equipped allies have struck for 15 plus damage. He gets big, I think, is all he really does. When he attacks, he gains attack or something like that, equal to the number of power of equipped allies. Master Yi, once he's done 12 damage, he levels up, and then he has an attack trigger that says, attack, I immediately strike the weakest enemy or something like that. So kind of like the idea of Alpha Strike, where he just like attacks, immediately kills the smallest thing, and then your opponent's allowed to block afterwards. So yeah. So Durando Disciple, really, really good. Ionia Hookmaster, I think, is probably one of the best cards in the set. It's really good, just a solid 2 mana improvise. So usually it's going to be like a 2 mana 3/2 fearsome, a 2 mana 2/3 impact unit, just a very solidly statted unit. Navori Conspirator, this is just to give us elusives with the Jax package or with the improvised package, because elusives are good. Giving them really good weapons or bigger stats is going to be really strong. So you can either give it Scout, you could give it you know, tough +1/+0 and tough, give it +1/+2 and impact. So you have like, you know, a 2 mana 3/4 impact, 2 mana 3/3, or there's a 2 mana 4/3 fearsome elusive. So there's a bunch of like really good stats you can give to your elusives, which is why I threw in some elusives in here. Tasty Faithful just have a lifesteal unit, as well as you could pump it up with things like the weapons, twin discipline, stuff like that. So this could carry you a long way. Again, if you get this Tasty Faithful and you give it like +1/+2 and impact, all of a sudden you have a 3 mana, what was that, a 5/4, 3 mana 5/4 impact, gaining you 6 life every time it attacks. Wandering Shepherd, in my opinion, one of the strongest cards in the entire set. Pick an ally, improvise it. If not, improvise itself. Combat Cook, just another way to improvise and make it big. I think this card is extremely underrated. I think this card is also really good. Blades of the Fallen's probably the most broken card in the entire Jax package. It's essentially just 1 mana, negate any removal spell. If you go like pass on turn 1, play Jax, and then your opponent goes, okay, Mystic Shot Jax, you go, just kidding, here's 1 mana. You killed my Jax, but then it's immediately just gonna spawn another 3/2 that has that quick attack blade. The thing is that it keeps the Acathian Mirage keeps the equipment from the unit that died, which is pretty silly, because the Acathian Mirage is a 3/2, and I think that's literally a larger stat line than everything except for Tasty Faithful in our deck. So literally, if they try and kill any unit, you actually just get more stats onto with the Acathian Mirage. Thanks to the Blades of the Fallen. So this card's really broken. Uju Style is really strong. 1 mana, give an ally +2/+0. Create a Meditate in hand. Meditate is 2 mana, give an ally +0/+2. Nice little 2-for-1 spell. Entrance Lure is give an ally a challenger for this round. If it's equipped, draw 1, so it kind of replaces itself. It's kind of like Sonic Wave, but you don't get the +2/+0. Instead, you draw a card. In my opinion, that's worth it. Notified Deny for a little bit of disruption. Retreat Return is really good. If you notice, like every card in your deck costs 3 or less, so you can recall, like, you know, a Disciple of Duran, or recall, you know, basically any type of improviser, really anything, and then you can just like burst speed in a Jax, Master Yi, like, you know, basically anything. So you can like bounce something to your hand and then retreat and then like return a Master Yi into play, and then it's going to get that flow bonus, so it's going to get +2/+0 automatically, which is going to be pretty sick. Twin Discipline is just for a nice safety spell. Deny, like I said, disruption. Parts Made Whole is just a very solid draw spell. I think this card's pretty good. You discard what, draw 2, which is already fine in a deck that doesn't really have draw power, but then if you discard an equipment, you also get like a burst 3/2, so you're basically playing like a 4 mana 3/2, draw 2 cards. And I don't think discarding an equipment is going to be too hard, because I think with all these improvised cards, you're going to have like a clunky hand sometimes of just full of equipment. So it's going to be good to have a way to kind of cycle those out. And then the last card is going to be Will of Ionia. People ask me why I'm not playing Telstones. Because I think if you're going to be using Will of Ionia 99% of the time anyways, or sorry, if you're going to be using Homecoming 90% of the time anyways to recall your opponent's units, might as well just use Will of Ionia. And our deck doesn't really want to recall our allies. We have like a ally that we want to actually recall. Outside of that, we're not really trying to like recall our allies to play them again. That doesn't sound very good to me. So yeah, so that's the Jax. This is a deck I'm super excited about. This will probably be the first video I put out on as far as decks go, is on this deck alone, because I think this deck is super cool. Next is TF Nami. So I'm kind of mixing it up here with like brand new deck, revised, brand new, revised, brand new. And yeah, this is just gonna be an Ionia version of TF Nami. I think is extremely strong. We got a bunch of really good cheap spells. Like we got this Momentous Choice, we got Wuju Style. Both of these cards look really cool. Again, Disciple of Duran, extremely broken, giving you 1 mana spell that also makes your other spells cheaper, so you can pop off even harder. The Stylian Disciple, it's 1 mana, 1/1 elusive Nexus Strike, turn it into a 2 mana spell. And that says 2 mana spell, summon a 1/1, basically summon this guy, but also draw a card, which is extremely strong. So this is just going to be a nice little way to try out TF Nami Burblefish package in a shell that is nothing we've really seen before. I don't think we've seen Ionia TF Nami before, so it'd be really cool to see if it works. Next is Norra. So this is my take on Norra. It's a little bit different than what I've seen other people do. I've seen other people kind of go the like P&Z aggro route as far as like, oh, I'm going to play like Sneezy Biggle Dust, or I'm going to play basically Yordle and Arms deck, but with Norra now instead of Fizz. And I think that idea isn't bad, but I'm interested to see how it would work if you just played like hyper portals. And that's essentially what this deck is it's a bunch of cards that like put portals into your deck, and then the goal is to just try to have these like really big turns of, oh, out of nowhere I'm gonna draw like, you know, 2 to 3 portals and then just kind of burst speed attack you with all my burst speed attackers. So the ideal setup would be like turn 2 Norra attack, get a portal, and Norra doesn't even have to live, she just needs to attack once and she's like immediate value. So Norra hits you, and then you play like, you know, turn 3 Magical Journey. If you pass on turn 1, you do like turn 3 double Magical Journey, right? So now you have 3 portals in the top 4 cards of your deck. You draw 1 for turn, and then you do a rummage, and then now you've drawn 75% of the cards that have portals on them, and you just get like burst speed. Ideally you get like burst speed 2 or 3 of those portals, you draw them, and you're just like, okay, here's my burst speed attack on, you know, turn 4. I'm just like burst speed attacking you with a bunch of units and doing all that cool shit. I have 1 of suit up because I figured you're going to be drawing a bunch of cards, might as well try and see if you can get a suit up. Same here, draws you cards. Yeah, it gives you created cards here, so you still have the options to do the like really quick Norra level up. I think you could easily level up Norra on like, you know, turn like 4. I think turn 4 is a very easy way to level up Norra. We have Veteran Investigator because it can be a 2 mana 3/2, draws you a card, but then also, you know, potentially puts a portaled card into play. I don't know if this is going to be the best version of Norra. I just think it's going to be a fun version, and I want to try it because I think it'll be really cool to see if you can get out a bunch of portals. The second to last deck we have here is the Timelines Revamped. So for the most part, this is just like standard traditional timelines, except you get to play these improvised units. And I'm playing one of this Gift of the Hearthblood because I think these improvised units are extremely strong. I think this card, again, is really, really, really strong combat cook. And also I think that because it's such a low stat line, this is going to be something that's perfect in a timeline style deck where, like, imagine this turns into a Crocodile, right? The alligator, an ancient croc. So it turns into a 4 mana 7/7 that improvises a weapon onto it, and then you forge the weapon. So if you get the Overwhelm weapon or a Scout weapon, like Croc is really bad because it's just a vanilla 7/7. But if you were to give Croc a keyword, that card would be broken, right? So that's what you do here, is you basically get a Croc, but then you also just give it a random keyword of like Overwhelm, Fearsome, Scout, you know, something like that. That's a really good combat keyword. And then you just give it like an extra +1/+1. So you have like a really, really big Crocagator on turn 4 with hopefully a pretty good keyword, and you're big chillin'. So that's the idea behind this deck, is to kind of use these new improvised units here to get more value with your concurrent timelines. And the last deck we're going to talk about is Kayn, of course. Kayn Pantheon. I really like this Faded style deck for Kayn because you're going to want to be playing a decent amount of equipment / like combat tricks anyways. So if you pair Kayn with Pantheon, it seems pretty nice because we have the Wandering Shepherd, which is again a card that I think is really broken. So you can go Wandering Shepherd, you go like turn 1 Saga Seeker, float 2 mana, turn 3 Wandering Shepherd. Or you go like turn 3 Wounded White Flame, turn 4 Wandering Shepherd. Wandering Shepherd will trigger the Faded effects on everything because it's targeting the ally, and then it also just gives them really big stats and keywords. So again, you can give them that, you can give something that Overwhelm, you get an Overwhelm weapon, which would be pretty cool, or equipment. Then you could give it, you know, Scout, you can give it tough, and basically anything. So you can give Scout back to your Pantheon now with these Wandering Shepherds. You have this Forsaken Bakai because 1 mana 2/1 is really good, and then 1 mana 2/1 predict, really good. You can just like completely ignore the other half of the thing. It's like if you happen to pick a Darken or an equipment, it turns into a 1 mana 3/2. Cool. If not, who cares? You have a solid 1 mana anti-aggro card that sets up your next future draw, which is nice. And then outside of that, it's basically just really standard stuff. Pale Cascade, Guiding Touch, Momentous, you know, helps you level up your Kane, helps you revive your Kane in your Pantheon. So Ibex grant Overwhelm. This guy gives you Scout. So we're pretty chilling here. So I'm really excited to play this deck. I think this deck will be cool. I wasn't really sure how to build Kane. Kane can be built a couple different ways. I didn't know if I was supposed to put him with Pantheon, supposed to put him with like Kindred, and play him with like a mid-range Shadow Isles package sounded not bad to me. But yeah, I think there's going to be a bunch of different ways to play these decks. So these are all the decks I'm super excited for. Again, I'm super excited for Master Yi Jax. So all these deck codes will be in the description below. So if you're interested in playing those when they come out, go ahead and check out those deck codes, lock them down. I'll be posting my Runeterra AR also because for those of you that don't know, whenever I do make decks or anything, I post them on Runeterra AR and you can immediately see them. So you see here, like I just made some of these decks and they have like, you know, likes, so you see how many people are downloading them, see all that stuff, see how many like things people are interested in. And yeah, this is where I go to post all of my decks and stuff like that. So you can go follow me on there. You see here it says, oh, people followed me. And then, yeah, you can get all the decks whenever I release them and all that jazz. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a lot of fun with the new expansion set. I might stream for a little bit today. If you're seeing this video go live on Tuesday, I might be streaming some early access. We'll see. So make sure to go ahead and join the Discord so you get notifications on if I do that. That's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.